Y'all ready, Chair?
Okay. Ready, Bill?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. This is it's approximately 1:09 p.m. Forgive us for our tardiness, but we are the Service Delivery Operation Committee, and we're going to get started. We have not only myself, but we have Director Tabitha Odell with us, and our CEO, and also Mr. Dumas is also with us. We are. I call this meeting to order. Mr. Dumas.
Well, good afternoon, Chairman, Chair-elected, Director-elected, Director Tabitha Odell, and staff, and all those who are listening. We'd like to give you our Service Delivery Operational Update, our Operational Committee Update Status Report for June 2022. So we will put up our screen presentation in just a minute, and we'll go through the updates. We do have our CEO with us as well, Mrs. Faye Massimo is with us today as well. I believe you have a presentation in front of you now, so we'll get started with our update for June 2022. Slide. Our safety and security risk and management update for June 2022. On our accidents, we've had four accidents on the fixed route side where they hit fixed objects. We had 3 on the paratransit side. They kind of broke down the side swipe, passenger injury, and fixed object on paratransit side. No incidents or no accident with marine service or maintenance. Our non-preventable for fixed route, we had 15, and this varied from fall while boarding, fall while exiting, non-responsive injuries, rear end, side swipe, and fell on the bus. I've asked staff to look at those on board, falling while they're boarding the bus, while exiting the bus, to get a little more detail as to why we had an increase on that. Again, these are non-preventable, but we want to take every measure we can to make sure that we do everything and above that to try to mitigate to avoid these incidents from occurring. One of the things that I actually do is look at an automatic announcement that will announce when we open and close the door. Please watch your step while boarding or exiting the bus. So we'll keep you updated as to how that goes. Paratransit, again, we had 3 fall while boarding there. None in marine, and maintenance had an incident with a left turn situation where maintenance operated the vehicle. Our safety of action plans and corrections of these things is continued coaching. In the July monthly poster, we do retraining as needed, but in addition to that, continue to put out safety tips as a reminder to different events that occur while you're working throughout the day, throughout the month, and throughout the year. Our safety awareness campaign for this month was focused on hurricane preparedness and active shooter. And so our weekly blitz, again, focused on hurricane preparedness. And we had meeting postings on that. Again, the hurricane active shooter for the whole month of June. Next slide. Our new hires training class, we hired 3 paratransit trainees. Training was complete on June 3rd, I'm sorry, and they're out providing service for us now. And we also had 3 hired for the fixed route with the CDO passenger endorsement. And I believe that they're continuing some of their training just recently have been released into our regular drivers pool. Our organizational training, the fixed route, we had several more operators training on the electric bus. That's ongoing, so we are getting those individuals as they become available to make sure that we have those. This training will be ongoing as well, because even though we're training them on the electric vehicles, only a few of them get to operate the vehicle in a course of time. So we do refreshers as necessary to make sure that they're familiar with operating the electric vehicles. Our retraining for that, we've had 2 in fixed route and then 2 for paratransit on safety and 2 return to work on both fixed route and paratransit. None on drug and alcohol. Next slide. Our on-time performance, your report may reflect a minus, but it's actually a plus. We've done a slightly better on the on-time performance, so that should be a plus 2% instead of a minus 1.9%. Our early departures, we listed locations again on our early departure for the AM and PM. Notice, I want you to take note there that we're still collecting information with our clever device, which is giving us precise information. Our ongoing training our goal is to, reach a 0 early departure, but we do advertise and encourage passengers to be at that stop location 5 minutes ahead of the posted schedule. So even though we have some early departure, thankfully none of those are before that 5-minute wait zone. But our goal is to make sure that we have 0 early departures. Our late departures, we also have that information included AM and PM. And again, those are based on traffic pattern situations, the incidents, accidents, many things that can cause the delay. We can give reasons for delay, but we cannot give a qualified reason, an acceptable reason for early departures. So again, we'll work on that continuing. Next slide. Our ridership for our fixed route, again, it shows a minus, but that should be a plus. We had a slight increase for the June compared to May. So that should be a plus and not a minus. On our fixed route missed trips, we had less missed trips for not run, less late trips than we had last month, and we had more accidents than we had last month. As far as roll calls, they're about the same. And then our onboard evaluation, we continue to do those trail checks. We did 10 onboard evaluation, 2, and operators coaching at 2 that were completed. Our action plan again is to continue to look at the dot services. We continue to actively watch that and monitor that for activity. There's a lot going on in the downtown area. Those routes are either detoured or slightly delayed getting through those work zone areas. And our accidents, what we do when we have those increased accidents, we increase trail checks and to watch the safety practice, as well as having those operators who are involved in at fault accident training for a set number of hours based on the severity of the type of accident that they were involved in. Next slide. We moved to our paratransit update. Again, on-time performance for paratransit is up. So again, that should be a plus, not a minus. And the same thing with ridership, we're slightly up on the ridership for paratransit as well. When we look at our missed trips, again, we have less missed trips, less cancellation, and less no-shows that we had last month. And, we have your definition is not changed with your missed trips, your cancellations, or your no-shows, just give you information as to how we define what category they belong. Next slide. Our onboard evaluation for paratransit, we had 3 of those operator coaching and no supervisor training for the month of June. And again, the action plan to correct the trends that we see for customer service ticket window, with coaching on how to improve on responding to customer service, customer requests. Also monitor the agents at the window to make sure that they're doing their job and that they're posting signs whenever they may have to step away, so that our customers are constantly informed of what's going on. Authorized personnel in the ticket window. We make sure that we not only do we have our customers that we try to address and allow them to continue on to their destination. We also monitor staff that may be in and out in that area, make sure that they're not staying there distracted. the customer service agents. Our CRC supplemental paratransit service for the month of June, I think I mentioned last month, May, that we did not utilize them as much because they're short staff. And in the month of June, it was even less. We only had a total of 33 actual trips for the month of June for CRC services. And again, they're having staff problems still, but we fortunately have hired more paratransit operators, so we're doing much better than what we've done in months past. Next slide. Our marine operation, we have again, our ridership is up as much as 20%. And that's good, even in spite of some of the challenges that we're facing. Individuals are still utilizing that service, so we're doing everything we can to meet those expectations and customer needs. Our vessel operation, there's no change in the vessel condition. We still use primarily the Florence Smartest and the Mary Musgrove. The other two, the Juliet Gordon Lowe and Susan K. Taylor, are both having some repairs that are necessary, and we're working on that as we speak. Our dock inspections, there's no changes on that. However, I will inform you that there's some information in this. Massimo may go into more detail of that in just a moment with the Western dock. We're utilizing that to park our vessels, and with the tides in and out, that dock was not built for our vessels, and so we have some concerns about doing repairs to make sure that we don't cause any further damage at the Western dock. Our marine maintenance manager is on top of it. He's added some safety mechanism in place to try to avoid further damage to the Western dock while we're utilizing that space.
Mr. Dennis, I would add to that. I just sent an email to all board just within the last hour. We learned that today in a budget hearing in Congress that Senator Ossoff directly brought up our situation with the ferry operations and the earthquake repairs that are needed for that area, including our dock and ramp. And to the FTA administrator, who committed to him that she would be working directly with us for any possible support that can be given. As Mr. Dennis mentioned, our marine services manager, John Allen, is staying on top of the situation with the Weston's dock, which just they out of courtesy, they've been letting us use and foregoing their own opportunities for revenue there. But we are, as Mr. Dennis described, creating some repair needs there now, and so we are working very hard to mitigate that. We are coordinating also with the county and are hopeful that later today, county and city, but are hopeful that later today, we talked to the county manager this morning, and we understand that there may be also some additional support that will be announced later today for the repairs that are necessary in that area. So it looks like we're moving in a positive direction on the sinkhole situation, as well as on our own ramp and dock situation there. So we'll keep you posted.
All right, thank you. Next slide, please. So next slide is update on our maintenance operation. Our means distance between vehicle failure. We have fixed route is still above our goal. We have over 19,000 miles in between services, and Paratransit is over 70,000 miles. So again, maintenance is doing an excellent job on keeping the vehicle up and running. Given the age of most of our vehicles, particularly our Paratransit, we have a lot of challenges there. They're doing everything they can to keep the vehicles up and running. Our roll call for fixed route, we had 8 roll calls for the month of June and 0 roll calls for Paratransit. And we have 9 fixed route vehicles out of service for the month of June and 4 on the Paratransit side for the month of June. Our PMI compliance is at 100% there, so all those are being met each day. to the maintenance department. And we had one in staff person trained on the clever device data link that was just to prove that the connection, the part that clever device had, that we can download and receive information. So we went through that process and sign off that it is working accordingly. That's my presentation, and if you have any questions now, we'll entertain those.
I don't have anything, Mr. Dumas. The questions that I did have, you already answered, as far as the sinkhole and the progress that we have, or did we have anyone to give us an update? So you answered all of those questions. As far as training, and my other question was gonna be about, trying to get people back in. I see we have people that are in our training program and that are work on our retention and trying to work with some more people to get them back into our everyday routine. So we spoke before the meeting started, just to see how we were going to be with the flooding and operations and everything else. So I'm comfortable with everything that you reported. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Anyone else? Ms. Odell?
I'm good.
Okay, so right now, do we have any old or new business, Mr. Massimo?
We do not, sir.
Okay, so you're going to address our other committee business?
Yes, on your agenda for today, there are 4 items under other committee business to make you aware of. All 4 are in the Financial Services and Audit Compliance Committee. The first item is just to request board approval on the remaining 2 years of a 3-year service agreement that we have. But it was originally brought to you, it was only approved for 1 year. We need to get those remaining years approved. The next item is just our annual or regular active membership renewal. And the final 2 items are both pending items that will have full information for you available later. But we mentioned in last week's snapshot that the candidate that had been selected for the CAO position has had a health situation arise in their family and are going to be unable to make the relocation. And so we are now back to recruiting for a CAO again. Different recruitment than, for example, the COO that's ongoing right now and so forth. It's got a different focus. But given how many, we have such a great number of recruitments going on right now that we just need some additional resources to put to that. So we've reached out and are getting quotes to get some support from recruitment firms to help us with the CAO search, the redo of our CAO search as well. And then the Master Transit Plan Contract Award, we have shortlisted the committee that the selection committee has shortlisted 3 firms. We will be interviewing those firms. They'll be making presentations to us on the 22nd. And so we have an agenda item here, a pending agenda item also to bring that forward to you for award.
Thank you, Mr. Massimo. So that's it for those 4 items. I appreciate that. If there's nothing else for the greater good, I adjourn this meeting. And Mr. Massimo, Mr. Dumas, has either one of you reached out, or our security reached out to our interim chief, being that the city of Savannah is going through a transition with our leadership at the police department?
Our safety manager has been in coordination with the city as a part of that transition. So we have made that contact, I believe, Director Leggett, but we will reconfirm.
Okay, I make sure that even with the transition, that we keep a good open relationship with our partners to make sure that anytime we are in need, that we do have the accessibility to have police departments to help us at the time.
One other thing, Director Leggett, I would mention too, that I think the board's already aware of, but for the good of others who are listening to our committee meeting today, in addition to those department level connections that we maintain regularly, routinely, important partnerships with both the city and county. I meet every month most oftentimes, way more frequently than once a month, but I at least have a standing meeting once a month with both the county manager and city manager, in an effort to make sure that these kinds of opportunities that we have around, whether it's around joint issues of public safety or operations matters or whatever it might be, that we are maintaining strong relationships there, routine communications that are serving CAP well, both in the delivery of our projects and the delivery of our services.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I really appreciate that. If there's nothing else from anyone in the around for the greater good of what's going on, I adjourn this meeting.
Thank
Great,
you.
thank
Thank you, Chair Moore. Have a good one.
All right,